Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the iPods and Juice podcast. I'm your host, Juice, and I'm here with my co-host, the flying knee to my Frankie Edgar jaw, Rain. What's going on?
Oh, man. Were we just talking about not making fun of Frankie Edgar and not being so brutal to him? And
I will not make fun of Frankie Edgar. If that's going to be something that you're going to do, by all means. It may hurt me, but we're going to talk about some stuff that may hurt you in a bit too. So all is fair in love and war, I think.
Hey, as long as I avoided it, it won't hurt me. It's like that fucking meme.
You repress a lot of feelings, don't you, Reen?
Man, dude.
Nope, didn't happen. Nope.
I'm in denial still, even though I watched it finally.
Oh, and you get mad that certain people think that another guy won the election, huh? Okay. All right. You have the same feelings just about other stuff, but that makes you better, huh?
Yep. I have my priorities straight.
Well, I'll give you that. I'll give you that. But we don't do the reviews on here too much, but given that we have a weird schedule with all this with the fights, it's not going to be talking about Usman and Burns yet because hasn't technically happened as of right now. But figured we'd do a little mini review to open up the show, mini rewind, I should say. But I'm with 99% of the MMA world that knockout hurt my soul. Frankie is one of my top 5 favorite fighters ever, and that was tough to watch, even at his age, even though I think I had picked. I know you picked against him. I'm pretty sure I did too. And I'm a big believer in Sanhagen, but that was nuts. I mean, Ortega knocked him out. That was a crazy shock at the time. Like, okay, he got him with an elbow, got him with a head kick. It was a lot. And then Ortega tends to do shit like that, so it was shocking, but it wasn't that surprising. Korean Zombie hits like a monster, so we know that the TKO was kind of expected. But this, I mean, to just flatten Frankie, I don't care if he is 39 years old. I mean, his nickname's The Answer, but the thing he'd always have on his shorts is like FE, like for iron, because he had like an iron will and iron jaw. But man, I mean, it all comes crumbling down at some point.
That was damn beautifully timed. Just, oh man, though. Yeah, the way he just fucking fell and hit the canvas, that was crazy. Damn, dude. That was just, I'm here. Look at me, man. I'm the baddest motherfucker. I swear to God, that was just like a stamp, right? That's it. Boom.
Well, the fact too, him being so young, and fighting such a legend like Frankie, he didn't even think twice about hitting him on the way down. He knew. I love Frankie, and I know how tough he is. Like, I would not have been mad if he tried to go for another one on the floor. He's like, man, he got excited. He's young. He knows how tough Frankie is. He doesn't want to give him a shot. Like, he knew. Like, it's over. He knew as soon as he landed, like, it's over. Just walked away.
Yeah. So they're making comparisons to him and like Dominic Cruz. What do you think now?
No.
It's still?
No.
Okay.
No, it's nowhere. I mean, Dominic Cruz is a freak athlete in his own way, and he's very creative for sure, but he knocked out Mitsugaki, but that was like a TKO, and that was a weird barrage. He'd never fought like that before. He's never like stamped people like that. Dominic Cruz has thrown many flying knees. They usually miss, or they like hit the shoulders or kind of graze the forehead. He does not have this type of precision. Dominic Cruz is all movement. Sanhagen he's very economic with his footwork, with his movement. He just sees things coming, man. He's a weird one. He's very technical. He fights with his eyes open. He's very smart, but he's just, as he's getting older, he's just getting this wild streak in him. You know, again, I brought it up one of the last shows of his wheel kick. Threw a fucking wheel kick at Marlon Moraes. Like, who does that shit? Learned it during quarantine. That's when I knew him. Like, this kid's on another level. He's got something going on in there that most fighters don't.
Yeah, amazing. Just, it wasn't like, Jorge and his fucking running flying knee, right?
It's
It was
it's
just
funny.
boom. Like
Yeah,
boom, like that's it. Done.
it's funny. I was thinking about that. It's funny you mentioned that because yeah, I was thinking the same thing. And yeah, it's easy to shit on Jorge now because he went all in on caping for Trump and all that. And but put all that aside, obviously that knockout, still the fastest knockout in UFC history. Still one of the most spectacular knockouts in UFC history. But yeah, I'm not gonna say it was a fluke because obviously he drilled it. He knew he saw it there. But yeah, he sprinted at a wrestler and dropped him with a knee. Like it was amazing. It was surprising, but like okay. Not saying anybody could do that, but that's what it was. 5 seconds, sprinted, kneed, over. This one, he actually entertained Frankie for a few seconds and was moving around the edges of the octagon. Frankie being a bit of a pressure fighter, boxer puncher that he likes to kind of be in that range. He was kind of entertaining him. And then I think once he realized that he might get in wrestling mode right now, just went for it. And I mean, couldn't have landed more perfectly.
God damn, so beautiful. Yeah, that was it for me, man. That sealed it for me. I didn't have to see the rest of the. There's only one fight left, but I didn't have to see the rest of it.
Well, we covered many fights, but we're going to talk about the ones that really matter. And yeah, don't think that because my boy got starched that we're not going to talk about Overeem possibly having the worst performance of his career.
Oh my God. I saw the tweets. I saw his little appreciation, his shout out to Volkov and everything and support and whatnot. And I'm like, fuck. Am I going to watch this? Am I going to watch this? And I finally did today. And yeah, it was expected, man. I had a bad feeling. And just the way he fights, too. He takes damage. This fight, not as much. He had a little bit more control, but still, like, that man is just, Volkov is just, he's bad, motherfucker. God. I swear to God, man, just watching it again, like him, because, yeah, we took a little break, but I was, like, watching it again. I'm like, God damn, he makes him look so tiny. How is that fair to be that big?
You know what? People have that same exact sentiment about Ubereem 10 years ago.
Right. I know, right? I'm like,
I don't
how?
really feel bad for this guy, Rain. I don't know about you, but yeah.
It's not fair. It should be like a heavyweight division. Like, what the fuck? This is too much.
It sucks when the shoe's on the other foot, huh?
Oh, like, for real. Like, super heavyweight and shit. They're not even in the same class, weight class. Oh, man. Yeah, I was sad. It was expected, though. I knew it. I had a bad feeling. That's why I didn't watch it initially. I didn't want to be a bitch about it, you know, and not watch it at all. I could have played it off tonight, but I'm like, nah.
Did you go for Reem in the last one?
Of course I did. I always do.
Okay, I mean, again, I think obviously I wanted to go for Frankie, but I didn't because I knew common sense would prevail a little bit there, but yeah,
worked out completely.
I just kept saying during the night, I'm like, man, something was really off with Reem because he couldn't even run away, and I really wasn't saying that to talk shit about him. We know his defense nowadays. He runs away. He straight up does, and I was like, he couldn't even do that. I'm like, so he's either injured, probably has like a knee or foot injury or something, or just he's fucked up. He got hurt and he can't recover.
Yeah. He got fucked up, man. God damn.
Well, he said his nose broke and that he couldn't recover from that. Okay, it makes sense. You know, I mean, they started making the freeze frames with he dropped his contact type thing, and yeah, I mean, he wanted out. He wanted out. Yeah. That dude's taking a lot of damage. You're right. He's taking a lot of damage, and yeah, sometimes you may not know when to say when, but the body does, and it says "fuck you."
Yeah, not a good game plan, man. Not with that man. It is what it is. I accepted it now that we've talked it out.
I've said recently that I've come to appreciate and respect Overeem a little bit more, given how long he's been in the game and just how many ass beatings he can take and come back. This one, I mean, we always kind of say this, like, shit, can he come back from this one? I don't know. At this point, I really don't know. But I do respect it for that. But I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sit here and lie like I didn't enjoy that, especially for the size factor, like the big guys kind of getting a taste of his own medicine. Like I guess there was a little bit of that with the Ngannou knockout, but it was just so frightening that you couldn't really take pleasure in it. You know, this one wasn't as frightening as that, but it was like, okay, Now the bully knows what it's like to be bullied again, but like maybe worse. Because he had to endure this ass beating. With Ngannou, it was like I was there and then I wasn't. What happened?
Yeah.
This one, he remembers. He's gonna remember it.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because this is the last one, the last run.
When did we count out Toshera? Like 5 years ago. And that's a light heavyweight. You still have a better track record at heavyweight.
Jeez.
Don't get your hopes up. Nobody should get their hopes up in this regard, but it is possible. Crazier shit has happened.
Yeah, well, he's been at the game for a long time. He's been at it for a while, so yeah. All that damage too. I don't care what he says. Like, that's a lot. I wonder what's going to happen now.
Both him and Frankie haven't, decided on anything. It seems like they're going to stay around. We'll see for how long now.
Yeah.
That basically does it for our little mini rewind. We're going to get into the show. Not much to talk about regarding this weekend's fight card. We're only going to talk about 2 fights. There's a few interesting headlines, a few matchups, and a new story as always. So stop beating around the bush and get right into it with our preview of UFC Vegas 19. Only covering the main and co-main here, so we'll start with the co-main. Yana Kunitskaya is going to fight Kellen Vieira. Pretty decent fight. I think it was one of those we covered when it was first announced. I don't expect this fight to be a banger. Could be boring, but I'm genuinely interested as to what will happen because Yana surprises here and there, even when she is boring. And Ketlin, yeah, she got that win over Sajara, but I think the knockout she suffered at the hands of Aldana kind of sticks with some people's minds. So I think it's kind of a good test for her.
Yeah, she was out for a while too, and then Yana has just been fighting and win one, lose one, or whatever, and got beat the fuck up by Renault.
Yeah, that was a while ago though.
That was a while back too. Yep.
That was a while back, and then I think she had a win.
Chris
beat up by Lad.
Yeah.
And then her last win was against, I think her name's Julia Stolyarenko. If I remember, I think that fight was super uneventful. I don't think much happened in that fight. Stolyarenko was a badass. She was a Invicta bantamweight champ last, I believe. She had that crazy war with Lisa Versosa.
Yeah. Before that she even fought Lena too. I don't even remember that one.
I think it was those clinching / front kick type fights that she likes to have.
Yeah. I mean, she's been active, but yeah, it's just been, Even though she's been active, I'm still going to go with Ketlin. I'm a part hater too.
Well, oh yeah, I forget. I thought that was ancient history. Silly me. You're going to go. Well, he did get his ass beat by Glover, but is it forgivable because old man Glover is kind of a wash? Like, you accept that he's not invincible to even old men?
Yep. But we'll see how she does. I guess she got a new sponsor, and is she an American Top Team now or something?
I haven't kept up with Yana too much. I don't know what her deal. I know her and Santos train together. I think Tiago's at AT&T, right? So she probably is.
She probably did too.
Yeah. I just remember she was at Jackson's for a while, and then she left, and I don't remember who she left to. I wouldn't be surprised if she's there now, though.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I don't think I can disagree with anything there. Aside from the hater thing, I don't want. If anything, I critique Yana for her boring fights at times, but
it's hard to talk about her.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, and then Ketlin, she hasn't been really active at all, so.
She looked really good in the Sajara fight, though.
Yeah.
My only question is she back to form? She looked good, but is that the Ketlin that's gonna stay from here on out?
Yeah, and then Sajara was really active, right?
Yeah, that was the second or third fight in a month or two. Yeah,
something crazy like that. Good for her. She didn't stay out too long this time.
Kellen?
Yeah.
Well, she had a myriad of injuries prior to the Aldana fight.
Yeah, so good for her.
One of those
down that path again.
Yeah, it was one of those Kat Zingano, Dominic Cruz scenarios where it's just couldn't get a break. It took forever. And then they did her no favors. I mean, I guess they thought it was probably doing her a favor in Aldana, but I kind of saw that as a problematic matchup. I didn't necessarily think she'd win, but yeah, Aldana, when she's on, she's on. And when she's not, she fights Holly Holm and is a disgrace to my country, but yeah. Fuck am I
Oh
talking
god,
about? It's not even my country. I just like saying shit like that. I think at this point I say shit like that to piss you off, Raina. You're not even Mexican.
that's so funny, man.
Yeah, but again, I'm not Mexican either. Well, I only say that because Mexicans wouldn't necessarily consider me a Mexican, but I don't know. Everyone wants to be a minority nowadays. It's the cool thing to do. So I don't know. I guess I'll accept it. But anyway, yeah. I guess a sweep for Vieira in this on this show. Main event: Derek Lewis and Curtis Blades. This is kind of another one of those. Like I can see this being somewhat exciting in spurts, but it can be Curtis Blades just doing a lot of wrestling. And if Lewis wins, I mean, we've seen Lewis also too just get his ass kicked for 2, 3, 4, 5 rounds and come back.
Yeah,
That can happen. That's always fun. But Blade seems pretty well conditioned, so I don't
yeah.
know. And
I
he's a
don't
hell of
know
an
either.
athlete.
Yeah, right. I don't know either. All I know is I love the shit talking that's gonna happen. Just the back and forth that's gonna happen.
Have they been talking?
He makes little like
Memes and shit. And
little smack talk here and there. That's Derek Lewis, but yeah, I think Blades will turn it up too. Why not, man? Finally here because they were supposed to fight for a while now, right? Didn't this like get pushed back?
yeah, I think they were supposed to fight last year. I don't recall when.
Yeah, November.
Oh, I
Yeah,
think that's why Olenek. Yeah, I don't think that was meant to be, right?
yeah. Blades tested positive for COVID. See, I totally forgot about it.
There you go.
Yep. So that'll be interesting too, man.
Yeah.
How did it affect him?
Yeah, we always have to have these questions, right? It was, how does it affect them? And then
Mhm.
people who, well, to hark back a little bit on the fights last week with Diego Ferreira and Benil Dariush last week. I don't know if you saw that one.
Yes.
Amazing fight, first of all. But I
Fuck
totally
yeah, man.
forgot that we didn't bring up in the show that Ferreira had not fought in the COVID era. He fought like right before shit got shut down. So that was a new
Mhm.
experience too, aside from the layoff. Fighting, with in the bubble and all that type of shit.
Yeah, I noticed that like he didn't even really budge that much in the rankings. That was such a good fight. And they're like, fuck.
Maybe that's why, right? It just
Yeah.
as a token of respect.
Yeah, they're both winners.
I get it.
Yeah.
I mean, the decision was kind of what the hell, but yeah, it was a. I mean, even Benny gave him that credit. Like, yeah, he deserves to be higher up. But I know we're talking about. We will get right back to Blades and Lewis on this, but Dariush still hasn't won you over, Reen?
He was cool when he was giving props to like, Diego. I thought that was cool. I was like, oh yeah.
Well, it's just funny because you like manly men, but you're always just like he's too nice,
Yeah.
which I
Yeah, I'm
still
like
find
he's such
funny.
a gentleman. Yeah, that's what I was thinking in my head. Like he's such a gentleman. He's such
You,
just like a cool dude. Like what? If you hate the guy, you're an asshole. You gotta be an asshole.
yeah.
I mean, he's so nice, man.
Such an
But
animal in the cage.
but yeah, I bet his wife is very lucky.
Okay.
But I mean, like, no, it doesn't really do anything for me.
Rocks
Sorry,
rocks his gray hair, going the George
sorry.
Clooney route. Not trying to dye that shit. Real man about
Yeah.
it. I
Uh,
respect that, but I don't know. Maybe it's just because gray hair runs in my family like quite a bit. But
how old is he? Oh, 31. He's still young.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. But moving on to the actual fight at hand.
Oh yeah,
Blades.
yeah.
It's something I remembered as we were talking. Blades and Lewis. Um, yeah, I don't know. Part of me, maybe it's what I want to happen because it's the times when I think that there's some fights too. Like I remember when Lewis fought, what was his name? Latifi. That was in Texas, I
Mhm.
remember, and everything he threw, the crowd was oohing and eyeing. But it wasn't that eventful of a fight. It was just because it was hometown boy and people were going crazy. I,
Mhm.
I, I didn't enjoy that fight too much, but something about like the Volkov fights, the what was the other one? With Travis Brown, there's that one Russian dude I can never remember. He has a long ass name, Abdullah Menergov or some shit like that. Hairy Russian dude.
Oh God, yeah.
That was a really boring ass fight, and then the fourth round he just turns it on. I don't know. I guess that's just what I come to expect from Lewis. So that's kind of what I want to happen here.
Mm-hmm. Well, he's been like getting in shape too, so I wonder.
COVID got him in shape.
Yeah, he's been eating right, and like he always says, like I've been having lots of sex.
Right. Oh, and then remember he had that health scare like a year
But
ago
yeah, that's
that
right. That
that
too.
he never
What the
uncovered.
fuck
But
was
then
that?
again, he could have been lying because Derek
True.
Lewis is kind of an asshole.
Yeah, little storyteller. I don't know what's gonna happen with this man. I really don't. I mean, the best scenario would be for Blades to tire him out, right, and just do what he always does. Just get him to the ground and tire them the fuck out, and then just punch him out.
Yeah, I don't want to see that though.
Yeah, right. I mean, that would be the best case. Or Derek Lewis like knocks him out. Just waiting for
Yeah,
that perfect shot. It's either or.
it's kind of 50-50, right? He's gonna get
Yeah.
knocked out or he's just gonna get laid on and TKO'd or submitted. Yeah. Although he has been better with the submissions as of late. Yeah, it probably would be a TKO for Blades, but yeah, I'm excited to see it. You know, the fight may not be exciting, but I'm excited to see it because how can you not be excited for a Derek Lewis fight?
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah,
Like, you know see what he says like before, and then leading up to the fight, and then after the fight, like there's gonna be something that's gonna go viral.
It'll be a shit show or it'll be an exciting shit show, and I love shit shows as it is, so I'm all right with it.
Yeah.
It basically does it for the preview. As we said, it wasn't much to it, so we're gonna get into the headlines right now. Before we start on the headlines, I want to give a shout out to the homie. We're recording this on February 10th, and today it was announced that Larry Flint, creator of Hustler, has died at age 78. I don't care if you guys have ever seen Hustler or gone to those clubs or give a shit about Larry Flint. You should. In a weird way, he was one of the staunchest proponents of free speech. He had to take on the U.S. government for his work. And also, if you guys don't know, the reason he was in a wheelchair is because he was paralyzed because a white supremacist shot him because he dared have the balls in the 70s to do a photo shoot with a black man and a white woman obviously doing naughty things. And speaking of white supremacists, Gina Carano.
God, no.
Speaking of free speech, Gina Carano.
Oh, damn it, Gina.
So when we were tackling subjects this morning, when we were debating, I write up our little topics and scour the internet for stories. It was a hashtag Fire Gina Carano was trending, and as of right before recording this podcast, Lucasfilm and/or Disney announced that she in fact has been fired for her abhorrent comments. And she had done some posts apparently on IG, I guess it was on a story of hers or something, where it sounded like she was comparing conservatives / Trump supporters to modern day Jews because of the way the Democrats are demonizing said people, and that I guess making the comparison that the Democrats are Nazis and right wingers are Jews. She's said a lot of problematic things that people wanted to get her canceled for. Some of them seem trivial. Some of them were like, okay, I get what they're going for. I'm basically against cancellation kind of altogether. So I guess on principle, I don't really stand with it. But Reen, we were talking about this off air, and you I think in essence we are kind of for it, but for the wrong reasons, right? Because it's not about what she said, but more what she didn't do, which is act well.
Right, just act fucking decent, man. Act right.
Not even well, right? Decent.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Capone, right? You know, they never got him for bootlegging and the crimes he committed. They got him on tax fraud and tax evasion. So it's kind of what happened with Gina. Like, they didn't cancel her for the right reasons of you suck at your job, but she still lost her job.
She kept on pushing it, and she got warned so many times, and it's just, damn, dude, like, did Chris fuck you up that much? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, what happened to you? She's just saying some fucked up shit straight from the beginning. I guess she was already getting heat because of the
COVID
Pedro Pascal issue.
Wait, what?
The co-star, yeah, the Mandalorian.
You have to fill me in on all this because I don't watch the show. I don't know dick about it. I just know she's in it. I just know her character's name is Cara Dune. That's literally all I know. And Baby Yoda, and that's like all I know about the show.
Well, it was already trending because of that.
What did he do?
24 hours before, because his sister now like came out and said, I'm a transgender woman.
Oh, damn.
And yeah. So there was like already like rumors about there was like trouble on the set because Pedro and Gina wasn't getting along because Gina said some shit, and she's just out there with the way she all her beliefs and shit, like she's just out there. So there's already rumors about that. So that was already trending like the past 24 hours. And then she has this going on, this current issue, this current post. And yeah, like that was a quick turnaround of her getting fired. Like I kind of saw it coming. I'm like, oh, this is not going to end well. And then it's like, here we go with, let me see what's going on with this hashtag. It's like, oh shit, I think this is going to be it for her. Because she's not that great of an actress as it is.
Not at all.
I mean, they could, they would have to do a lot of editing and a lot of work with her because she was supposed to have her own show, but they didn't fully announce that yet because she's been acting crazy. She's been posting some shit, and they're like, no, this is not going to be a good investment, and they finally like found a reason to fire her. And like, believe what you want, whatever. You're a fucking asshole. Bottom line,
yeah,
you're just an asshole now. Like, I mean, there's no defending you now. You're just an asshole. But you do work for Lucasfilm. You work for Disney. That's your daddy. That's your boss. Like,
okay, I did find this weird. I'll just preface it with this. I saw some people that wrote about, that wrote about this story, or people tweeting out regarding these comments that they were anti-Semitic, which I don't understand. Like, she didn't offend Jews, I don't think. She made a terrible comparison. I guess you could say it was insensitive, but she didn't say anything defamatory towards Jews, I don't think. I'm not a Jew. I don't know. But I wonder if there's two things why I think she just kept going. One, I think because she's an attractive woman that always was just almost universally adored by Hollywood, MMA fans, and just people in general. I mean, she's a pretty face, so you don't really say much. You entertain an attractive person's bullshit more than you should. There's that. And I also wonder, working for Disney, it's like, well, Walt Disney was a bit of an anti-Semite, so I can say some shit here. It's nothing compared to the shit that he did and said. I wonder if she kind of thought that there's like, oh, this is a quote-unquote safe environment. But
no, you're dummy. You're dummy.
Gina,
well, come on, you're good. You're done with the Star Wars series. Now you're gonna get booted out of Marvel too, because she was playing that character in Deadpool, and who controls all of that? You're fucked.
Well,
you're fucked in Hollywood. So you should have just shut the fuck up when you got your first warning. You're just stupid at this point.
Yeah.
Who's your publicist? Like, who's your PR person? Like, you're a fucking idiot.
I wonder if it's WME.
Oh, I don't know.
I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter because she's not going to fight again. Well, shit. Well, people have been saying that she's going to get in bare knuckle now, or celebrity boxing, or Triller, or whatever. I don't know how somebody just didn't fill Gina in on two very quick things to make it in Hollywood. Don't even bring up gays and Jews. Just don't do it. It's not going to end well for you.
No.
Even if it.
It's such a diverse fucking like fan base on both sides. Like, are you?
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with you? I get it. That's how you feel, but it's like at the same time, it's like, do you know who you're working for and who your fans are? That's a whole different ball game. Like the whole Disney, like Marvel universe, it's totally different. I think from being somebody like Mel Gibson, being as powerful as that, a good actor, right? Totally different.
And the fact that he funded his own project. I mean, that Passion of the Price shit Passion of the Christ obviously went so far because of how much money it did.
Yeah.
The religious fan base that he got behind him and all that, they protected him through so much, even through the god awful. But yeah, even he's been rehabilitated a bit, not really, but a bit.
Yeah, like talking to, calm your fucking ass down. Like this is not good for your brand.
Maybe she should have talked to him. I mean, he said shit about Jews too. Like, you don't want to go this way. It ended bad for me.
There's some shit he did all kinds of stuff, right? Like abusing people and
yeah. Remember the shit with
all
his
the
wife?
recordings? Yeah. But again, like he was established, definitely a better actor. Like, but she such a good position that she was in, like ridiculous, man,
and not deserved at all.
Yeah. Right? Like
not
she
deserved. She's a pretty face. Again, the shit that people do for a person, an entitled person.
You got lucky there. Like, yeah, John Favreau, like, liked you because you're a big, strong woman. We can do these scenes. You're perfect for it.
It's interesting, too, because he's such a hardcore liberal. He was constantly tweet shit about Trump by the day when he was in office. Obviously, he's quieted down now, but I guess even he looked that over, right? Or who knows? I wonder if he started getting second thoughts recently.
Probably because he put his name on that. He stamped that. Yeah. He seeked her, and it's like, okay, now I can't do anything else anymore. Like, try to give her a fucking spinoff show when she really didn't deserve it, but yeah, she screwed herself, man. I haven't seen a tweet from her, nothing. She's awfully quiet right now. Like, I wonder what she's thinking. But I noticed that people are defending her. People want to cancel Disney.
Well, because they canned her?
Yeah, they canned her, and yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what
outrage from both sides.
What I was going to say, I feel like a lot of cancellations, quote unquote, like canceling people, is usually to save face. Like people, I'm so disgusted by so-and-so person. If they don't apologize, or if they don't leave the show or the movie or whatever, I'm not going to watch the show, or I'm going to cancel my subscription. I don't know if that thing was going around. It just seemed from what I saw that it was just hashtag fire Gina Carano. It's like, or we're going to cancel Disney, or what? Or they just felt that was coming, or if it was kind of a personal thing too. Like, all right, just talk about Jews. You're already on some real murky water there. And then, yeah, the stuff with the co-star and maybe Favreau, like trying to save his own ass. I wonder what the final decision was. I wonder if it was just regarding the comments.
Yeah.
I always think all this shit is business related. I don't always take it at face value.
Yeah. Comments, issues on the set, with the main star of the show, her not being a rangy actress, right? She has no range. She's the same fucking character.
Again, we haven't talked about this on the show, but if you guys have never paid attention, I don't know how you couldn't, because I noticed it right away. Watch Deadpool. She literally has 2-3 lines tops in the whole movie. It's amazing.
Yeah, she's the same. She's like Nicolas Cage, but at least he's been around for a while.
Nicolas Cage is still somehow an Oscar winner. Yeah, every once in a while he pulls a rabbit out of his ass and he does good. Every once in a while.
Yeah, pretty much the same character.
And he's so bad he's good sometimes. Like that Wicker Man shit. I sometimes go
and
look up those clips. Oh my god, the bees and all that shit cracks me the fuck up. Gina's not even that bad. She's not even so bad she's good. She's just bad.
Yeah. Looking forward to her next tweet. Cancel culture. You gonna talk about cancel culture? How you hate it?
Well, here's my thing, Rain, and we talk about this a lot privately. I believe that people should say whatever they want, and of course, that doesn't mean you're free of consequence, and cancellation is part of that consequence. I don't get people's obsession with trying to get people to lose their job. I don't care that Gina lost her job in this case because she's a shitty actress, so she shouldn't have been there to begin with. So I guess maybe this is a good precedent to set, even though it's for the wrong reasons. But I don't know. To me, this wasn't offensive of her comparing Nazi Germany to current day Democrat America. I wasn't offended by that. I found it kind of hilarious just because it's so wrong and so idiotic, especially given her comments about trans people and I guess she says some stuff about some of the Black Lives Matter protests and all that. Like, clearly you didn't empathize with a group of marginalized people before. Why do you think anybody would empathize with you now? I mean, if she's far right wing or centrist right wing, or just, I don't know, maybe she just likes Trump, whatever it is, the people that are the most mind over matter, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, that type of mindset, are crying foul and crying victimization. It's like, I don't get why everybody just didn't laugh at her and like, okay, we can just ignore her. I really think it's just because people love that show so much and they just can't like stop watching it. And like, oh, it annoys me seeing her on screen. Again, I don't watch the show, and I know I have kind of an odd take on this, but I mean, correct me if I'm wrong.
No, it's that fan base. They overlook some of that. It's just so weird. Like, they finally have like a strong like female figure to look up to or something in that universe.
Well, what about
And maybe
Ray?
that's the reason why.
What about Ray from the?
No.
I don't know.
No.
I mean, I saw some of these movies, but I know no one liked the last one. But I
Let's
mean,
not talk about that. Let's not talk about that series. They're trying to cancel that series right now.
What the fuck?
They're trying to erase it from all existence right now.
What do you mean? The new Star Wars movies, the last three?
The last three. That shit should have never happened. I didn't want to watch it, but I finally did because I was sick. And that's the only reason why I went on a binge and watched it. I'm like, no fucking wonder people were pissed.
These people are ridiculous, man. Oh my god. Sorry, no offense to you, Reen. It's just can't have them happy.
Yeah, it was awful. So yeah, the people that actually pay money to go watch it, sorry, I'm laughing at you. So it looked bad as it is, so that's your fault.
So the last three movies sucked, and you can't look up to Ray. And I guess Mandalorian's a good show, so you by default have to look up to Gina Carano's character.
I guess so, because there's like people like going hard in the paint, like defending her, like we'll always love you, we'll always have your back. Fuck Disney, like.
And you don't think it's just hardcore MMA fans that?
No,
it's not.
No,
Damn,
it's that group.
They're stupid.
Those nerds, yeah, it's those nerds on that side.
See a big-titted woman and they lose their fucking minds, huh?
Like both sides, female and male. Like,
oh god,
she goes on some podcasts with like a whole bunch of like Star Wars fans, like Cara Dune fans. She has this fan base that backs her up. Doesn't matter what she does, they'll look past that. Let's just say, it's freedom of speech and this and that, and like, but still, like, what the fuck, dude? You're an asshole.
Again, as I've said before, as people may be aware, I'm all for freedom of speech. Say whatever the fuck you want. Doesn't mean I have to agree with it. And just because I want you to say whatever you want doesn't mean I'm gonna like, just because I want you to say whatever you want doesn't mean like, oh yeah, then I'm cool with whatever you say. Jesus Christ,
man. That's nutty to me. Like, there's no logic behind it. It's just no, it doesn't matter. You can shit my food, Gina. I'll still fucking eat it. It's like, it's that nutty, dude.
Wow. But she had that kind of thing in MMA too, I think.
Yeah.
It's funny, we were talking last week about Julie Kedzie. Apparently this one hurt her.
Oh, she sent out another tweet because I guess it's like the anniversary.
Yes. Yeah, so it's kind of
today.
Weirdly poetic, right? Yeah. And I guess so she was, I guess, in that. Yeah, I mean, I get why she would respect her. It's a monumental time for the sport, especially for women's MMA. I have all the respect in the world for both of them for that fight, but yeah, there's like, oh, it hurts me that she has these troubling views. And I was like, but weren't you just trying to get Stephen A. Smith canceled last week for, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess in a weird way, I kind of give her props that if you're a hardcore feminist, you're going to be easier on women. I guess props to you. I guess, I don't know. I mean, that's not necessarily my stance, but okay. I mean, I guess it's better than her totally throwing her under the bus, but I did find that kind of funny.
Feminists are like weird, bro.
I just love seeing shit like this, man. Like, I'll never forget remember when Me Too was a thing? That died a while ago.
Yeah, right?
Was a thing. And I remember, what's your fucking face? Lena Dunham, who's, according to most people, was like the most hardcore leftist feminist out there. and was constantly shitting on all men. And then one of the producers of her show, a good friend of hers, got Me Too'd, and she was just quiet and like, oh, I still support him. Like, wait, what the fuck? You were going in on everything and everybody. And now because it's your friend, it's like, oh, we need to watch what we say. And oh, he's still a good friend of mine. Like, Jesus Christ.
Like Alyssa Milano and Biden, right?
Oh, God. Yeah. Single-handedly got killed there. Like, all that, like 2 years of work, maybe even more so if you want to talk about the decades and decades that this had been happening with women. And it's just like, in one day, just straight up Thanos fucking snap that shit. Done. Yeah. Man,
Well,
this led us to a wild rabbit hole.
Well, I just want to say that it makes it, whatever Gina's doing right now is really making Chris Cyborg look like a goddamn hero.
No one's going to talk about her steroid use ever again, huh?
Like, fuck it. Gina got what she deserved, you know?
Remember, like, Rhonda and Dana were like, oh my God, that was inhumane. How did that ever happen? You, like, beat her fucking face in, roided out bitch. And now people are I don't want to say hate watching it because it's like the exact opposite. They're like, yeah, they're like just straight Schadenfreude. Yeah.
Dude, there's some posts I've seen. There's some like comments. I'm like, damn, they're really liking Chris now because all the pictures she's been posting.
It's weird. Some of these weird rehabilitations, right? They have a certain image, and then someone that they were tied to has a really shitty thing that happens to them. It's like, oh yeah, no, they were cool now because they used to fucking have beef with them or whatever.
Yep.
Like you saw this a lot when Trump was in office with Mark Cuban. Mark Cuban's a fucking asshole. I don't get why anybody would like this guy, but since they come from a similar world, they're both on TV, the billionaire entrepreneur types, and he would constantly shit on them. Like, oh, that's our guy. Mark Cuban's awesome. He's anti-Trump. Yeah, it's like that's kind of what's happening here with Cyborg. But at least she was way more decorated in fighting and didn't quit after her first loss or even her second loss.
Yeah.
Props there. So I guess we'll leave that there because we can go on all night on that one. And yeah, that's going to be a whole other subject that's going to veer off from just fighting. But I guess to keep it on a more focus level with MMA/kickboxing, Gokhan Saki, if you guys remember that guy, he was in the UFC. He just got cut. Last time I remember him getting knocked out by Khalil Roundtree, and I think that was...
Was that the last fight? That's the only match. Like, was it?
It was, and I think that was 2 or 3 years ago. 2 years ago at least, but possibly 3.
Damn, dude. He was out that long?
Again, he'd been having a lot of injuries, similar to, like, Vieira, Dominic Cruz type thing. And yeah, I guess he just decided to part ways, and he's considering going back into kickboxing.
Well, at least they're giving him like an opportunity to do that.
I mean, with a 1-2 MMA record, I mean, what are you really losing out on,
Yeah.
I'll give Saki, I don't know if I want to give him props or I feel pity for him to go into kickboxing now. I mean, that shit's like dead, dude. I don't know where he's going to go. I know Glory's been having some shows, but it's all like on pay-per-view now. Like they're back to the old model. And then remember they'd gone to bankruptcy and then they had that weird shady dealing with like that Dutch bank or whatever. It's your first passion, I guess. But man, I wonder if he's going to get paid out because there wasn't that much money in kickboxing to begin with. And now we know one's been struggling too. And they're kind of like the de facto kickboxing promotion too. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Unless he wants to go to Lion Fight, but they don't even pay that much either. And yeah, they just finally got picked up by Fight Pass. Hopefully this is like the end of the journey, right? They just stick with this because they've been hopping around too.
Was Saki? I thought Saki was a Dutch kickboxer. Or did he actually train Muay? Because Lion Fight's straight up Muay Thai.
Yeah. No, it's just kickboxing. But I'm like, where else would he go? What else would he do?
I think people that aren't familiar with kickboxing / Muay Thai, I think that a lot of people outside of that bubble think it's interchangeable. But nah, man. If you're a kickboxer and you try to get into Muay Thai, it's hard. A totally different ball game. And then vice versa with Muay Thai and kickboxing. But I think some Muay Thai fighters can make the switch a little bit easier.
Yeah. It was always interesting to see, like, the Thai fighters step in the ring and, kickboxing and shit. yeah, they'll go back to their old habits and like clinch and shit. And maybe do some illegal moves or whatnot too. But
Yeah, and then it can get real annoying too sometimes when Muay Thai fighters make the switch to kickboxing because they keep clinching, and
yeah,
they either forget the rules or disregard the rules, and it just becomes
yep.
very boring. And it's like, fuck, you got to break them up every 10 seconds.
Yeah, that's happened too. Like they'll just play that game of clinching all the time.
Yeah, they forget they're not in Thailand. But all the respect in the world to Saki. I know he's up there in age. See what he does. I mean, Badr Hari is still making comebacks. Fucking few years ago, after everyone thought he was done. So
Well, Bellator's an option too if they do the kickboxing.
I don't think they're doing that anymore.
Yeah. Well,
But
it's been hard because of quarantine, but like it was always just here and there. They
mhm.
did some like a weekend thing or double header or something like.
And it was always usually like in Europe, which they only
Yeah,
went to like 3 or 4 times a year.
yeah. So who knows, man?
But Bellator, thank you for the segue, Irene. And speaking of fighters that you probably haven't thought of in a while, Daniel Straus, former Bellator champion, he got arrested for allegedly stabbing a woman in the stomach multiple times. I guess this is from a police report, an affidavit, and he's in jail. So they obviously suspect him of something. I don't know how reputable these claims are, not to dismiss this woman or anything. I just where we give Connor the benefit of the doubt, right, of all his allegations. So maybe we should just do the same with everything else. But yeah, this guy's got a really bad record. He's been arrested a few times. He's had drug
Robbery.
issues, robbery. Yeah, before. Yeah, he got an
Yeah.
MMA. Very troubled past, and now this. And from the sounds of the reports, like I guess it was a ex or a baby mama or a current girlfriend, and he was threatening her, trying to go to her house, and then I guess he went to her house after stabbing her. I don't know how the fights broke out. They're shady on the details are kind of sketchy.
Well, I thought it was due to cheating. He went to her job, was harassing her,
Yes.
roughed her up. For some goddamn reason, she went back to the apartment where where she lives or what. I think they were living together. I don't know, but she went back to the apartment. That's where she got really fucked up. She got
Mm-hmm.
stabbed. She got beat up, and yeah, she took off, went to a neighbor's place, and then got some help.
Yeah.
But
So
yeah, it's like two different places where she just got, she got assaulted.
yeah, and like you said, like you don't even remember if there was. I think that, yeah, it did start at her work, and then yeah, we don't remember how she went to her house, and then that he went to her house and all that. Again, the details are a little sketchy. Yeah, I don't even remember the last time this dude fought. It's just shit, man.
Is this the same dude that had like that really bad motorcycle accident and he couldn't walk and he had to like train himself to like walk again and he was taking all this rehab and he's trying to like make a comeback? Is this the same guy? He was on Joe Rogan's show.
Actually, yes, I think you're right. Yes,
He
yes.
was with
Mhm.
was he with Schilling?
I don't know if it was Schilling or his coach. It was some other fighter, I think. But yeah, I think you're right. I think he was on the
It's the
show.
same guy, right? Okay.
Yep.
Damn,
Yeah.
dude.
Right? See, that was one of those things. And remember, I mean, Joe had War Machine on too. Like that's what's fucked up. Like you see these guys, and especially with a show like Rogan's, like it kind of shows you who a person is. Like they talk some real personal stories sometimes, and it kind of endears you to him. And I know that's why people have an issue with him having on guests that far right wing guests, and people have said problematic shit. It's like, yeah, because it kind of endears you to him. But like in this case, like I don't think Rogan knew about this or could expect this. Same with War Machine. Like, fuck, dude,
Yeah.
that's
Well,
out there, bro.
yeah. Well, if it is this guy, like, yeah, you felt bad for him. You're like, wow, I hope he makes it back. And, you know,
And always fought his ass off. Like he was he was a very tough fighter.
yeah, like hearing about what he's been doing in the rehab and how, like, he, you know, just recovered quickly. Well, not fully recovered, but you know what I mean? Like, it didn't take him as long. And you just hear his story. And now it's like, what?
Yeah.
What the holy shit, man? Like, I hope you get fucked up. Like, you know, like, I hope somebody handles your ass now. Like, fuck your legs up, man.
Where did this happen? See, I don't even remember the details of where it happened. I think he was from Florida, but I don't know if that's where it happened.
Yeah, I think he is from Florida. I can't remember.
I would assume if he does go, if he was in Florida and he does go to a Florida jail, yeah, he may, because I want to say I think that's where Whitey Bulger got killed in a Florida prison. I guess they got some real tough prisons down there, so we'll see. He better be connected, because if not, yeah, it may happen. I know
Oh
he's an
yeah,
MMA fighter
Florida
and shit,
police,
but
Florida Police Department.
okay, there you go. Yeah, and I think what, $100,000 bail, something like that. Which, I mean, maybe he's made $100,000 in his career, but I doubt he has that in the bank account. So might stay in jail unless he's got some really good connections.
Oh, he'll get out. It's just 10%.
Jesus.
You know, yeah, he'll get out.
Yeah, that's kind of wild. I would think he'd for sure be a flight risk, but
No,
nah.
no, if it's set at that much, no, and then
Yeah, exactly. Like
they'll,
just the amount kind of
yeah,
shows that. Yeah.
the Bell guys will make some money too if he runs, and yeah, it's all a business.
Oh man, just bad news all around. I mean, I can't say, oh, I hope this isn't true, because it sounds like it is pretty true. We just, maybe some of the details are a little sketchy, but fuck, man, fuck this dude. It's just, I mean, I didn't think he was gonna make a run or come back to MMA and do anything substantial, but these stories happen. We always bring them up. We hate doing it, but it's the reality of our circus of this fucking sport. So yeah, that happened. In more Bellator news, I guess slightly problematic given who's fighting, and Anthony Johnson, who also has a kind of a bad past with violence and whatnot. He's making his debut against Yoel Romero. I guess it got announced too that Bellator's officially moved exclusively to Showtime, and Romero and Rumble will be one of the first fights of the first round of a Grand Prix light heavyweight tournament. So the fight that everyone thought would happen is happening, and I think I read right before we went on air that Romero is opening up as a slight favorite.
God damn, dude.
Weird, huh?
Yeah, that's like, it's cool that they're starting off with them, but at the same time, it's like, why not now? You know, because one of them will get eliminated early on. But how cool is it to like open up
Yeah, I think
on
that's the perfect way to do
Showtime? And
it. Yeah.
yeah, definitely have to use their star power, but man,
I mean, they got good fighters there. It's not a given that they're going to run through it. They still got Machida, even at his age, he's still pretty good.
yeah,
Bader, Phil Davis, Nemkov, the champ. That dude's a fucking killer. So,
yeah.
yeah, who knows how far this goes. This is not a given that Romero or Rumble will sweep through.
But I just wanted to see them like later on, you know, and then see
Yeah,
how much more can they hang. Like, these are like UFC guys in this Grand Prix. Like, how are they gonna do? Especially with what happened, you know, with Chandler coming over. Like, all right, let's see what you got now. So, yeah, I just fuck, man. Rumble's been out, but this is a different weight class, and we saw how Romero performed, right?
yeah, his
Yeah,
last fight was Izzy, right? Over a year
yeah,
ago, pre-COVID. Yeah.
yeah. So it's like, well, what's gonna happen? I don't know. Someone's gonna get knocked out. Who knows?
Or I think it can be a similar situation to the Izzy fight. I really think they can be staring at each other for a while, because, I mean, think about it. Rumble hasn't fought in a while. He was never too fond of getting hit. I mean, even he said, like, I'm just a good athlete. Like, fighting's not necessarily my thing. And Yoel knows what a monster Johnson is, so he's probably not going to want to engage. This can be real boring. I actually think that's probably one of the more likely scenarios. But if it's not, it might be knockout of the year type shit for
That's
either
crazy.
one.
Damn, dude. That's so crazy, man. Yoel's always been with American Top Team, right? That's so crazy. Cause like Rumble is old school Black Zillions, and he's still under Henry Hooft, I think. So like
So
the
that
OGs are like gonna go at it. Like they
the
have that.
rivalry.
Yeah. They go all the way back. Crazy, man. They're both in Bellator.
Question that I thought of as soon as it happened, as soon as they first announced that Rumble is coming back, and definitely now. Why do you think he decided to come back? I keep on thinking it's just money. I mean, him saying that he was never really a fighter, he was just an athlete, and then the weed business and all this stuff. I don't know why he decided to come back at his age, and I always just find it kind of odd.
And maybe it's testing and money. Because he doesn't have to wait too long, right? He can do whatever he wants, take whatever he wants. You know, he doesn't have to be monitored as much. That he has all that freedom too. So I think it's like testing more rather than money. Because he's been making money outside, doing whatever, right?
Yeah, yeah, and I heard I don't know who said this, but supposedly part of the reason why he didn't want to sign back with the UFC, so this person claims, was that he wanted to be able uh, to show off his company because I guess he still has it, the weed business or whatever, and obviously UFC said no, and I guess that's when I was like, well, Dana doesn't want any kind of sponsor there, especially that's I guess affiliated with the weed, and he wants to make extra money, so I guess they just decided to part ways.
Well, that kind of makes sense because I thought Dana wanted to go in with the CBD company anyways.
Yeah, conflict of interest. They already have possibly a deal with some other company, and yeah, they don't
Yeah.
want competition. Yeah,
And then Rumble has this opportunity to like maybe wear his company or, you know, co-company or whatever. I don't know how his business arrangements are. You know, to have that logo on his shorts. He could probably do that with Bellator, right? Or Bellator do some kind of sponsorship with them, like a partnership with them. So
just free advertising, just another
yeah,
venture.
yeah, it's like there's another added freedom there. Like there's really no like real testing, and then also you have a freedom to do business with these guys because they're more open and free. Versus like you can't do this, you gotta wear you gotta wear this suit, Power Ranger suit. Well, when the fuck is Venom coming?
I think,
Is that this year?
yeah, I think July, May or July is in the summer.
Oh boy,
So
I
a few
can't
months.
wait. They'll probably do that fight week, huh? Oh man.
Probably. We'll see. We'll see what even's gonna happen on fight week. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah. But
Anyways,
it would
yeah.
make sense. Yeah. Okay. All right. Just the question I had. I figured you probably had a decent insight on that. Last headline. So I didn't necessarily want to cover this, but I reading it, I kind of had a question about it. Nate Diaz has been making the rounds lately, especially
Oh God.
given the Poirier win a few weeks back, and it makes sense. I blame this on the media, not even necessarily on Nate, because Nate, will say what he says and not think about it. But big surprise, Nate's acting rather oddly. He's calling out Poirier and I guess Oliveira, which are great fights, and it makes sense why he would call them out, both for ranking wise and the sellability, which I think Diaz is well aware enough to know that he can't sell all fights. He needs to sell the right fights. But he's set on staying at welterweight and he wants these guys to go up. I started thinking about it and I wonder if he's doing this or just in general, well, the reason he won't drop back down, aside from the physical aspect, which, he just probably doesn't want to cut weight anymore. Maybe he just feels better at this weight. I wonder if it has something to do with the fact that he's more sellable in welterweight because he can kind of do his own thing. Where at lightweight, they're such killers. If you take out one of the top guys, like you're instantly a number one contender. Whereas at welterweight, you can just do sideshow fights. You know what I mean? With the Carlos Condits and Matt Browns and those like veteran type dudes. He doesn't have to take on Wonder Boy and Usman and Burns and these top guys. He can just kind of do his own fights how he wants.
That
I
doesn't make
wonder I
sense
wonder
though.
why he's so set on welterweight is my big thing.
Yeah, then that he's not doing it right then if he's like asking these guys to move up. Why don't you just fight somebody in the welterweight division then?
I just really don't think he wants a championship. He doesn't want that attention. He just wants to make money. I really
Yeah,
think that's why he's doing it. But yeah, I don't get why the weight class is such an issue.
right.
That's why I kind of thought like maybe this welterweight because he knows he can't be a top contender at welterweight, so he just makes his own thing there.
I don't get that either. Like, why even go there? Why don't you just say catchweight? If it doesn't
Yes,
mean a goddamn thing, then why don't you just say catchweight? You're like
was
cherry picking your fights.
wasn't it a thing too that I don't remember if it was Poirier or him or mutually they did a thing when they were first gonna fight. Then they say like fuck it, we're gonna do 165. Like you can't stop us.
Yeah,
You
they
remember
were
that?
pushing that. Yeah, because they wanted that division or something, and they had an opportunity to maybe try to, force it.
Which makes sense.
Yeah. So,
Nobody talks about that anymore, by the way.
yeah, I don't get it. Because that wouldn't that be a better option? Like, wouldn't that be the question to ask? Like, well, what about a catchweight? Like, why would you even go to welterweight? Like, if you're not, you say you want to stay active, but you haven't mentioned anybody else. You haven't mentioned people really in the welterweight division.
Yeah, that is a really good point because yeah, if you don't care about the belt, and again, this is just me speculating. Maybe he does want a championship at some point, but
Yeah.
the way that he picks his fights, it doesn't seem like it. I think he wants money. So if you're at yeah 160, 165, you can hey the guys that I like at welterweight, I want to fight you. I'm sure they'll take the fight, and guys that I want to fight lightweight, I'll fight you. Meet me here, and they can both make money.
Hmm.
But yeah, the whole go up a full weight class, like for what?
Yeah. I mean,
When
the only
especially when it's
person,
not going to mean anything, most likely.
right? Like when he fought Jorge, was it at welter or was it a catchweight? I don't
You know, it was
remember.
welterweight. It was welterweight.
See, he's the only one.
He
And that
fought
was just
what?
like a whatever fight. Like it didn't mean anything.
He fought Showtime at welterweight. Again, that didn't really mean anything. Connor, both
Yeah.
fights welterweight,
Yeah, didn't
but
mean
none of them
anything.
meant anything.
I don't get it. I don't get this play at all. Especially with him saying like, "Yeah, I want to stay active." Like, what? With
Whether
who? Like how? Like you're picking all these people that are actually trying to get to the belt, but they
yeah, like
might.
it's a distraction for them. You know, not
Yeah,
a hell of a payday, a good
yeah,
distraction, but yeah, it's not where they want to be.
yeah. They might scoot on over and make that money real quick, but it doesn't make sense.
Poirier might do it if they pay him really, really, really good. He might have a case there. Oliveira, I don't think is interested at all. I think he wants that
Yeah.
gold and doesn't give a shit about anything else.
Well, Dustin, they were supposed to fight, but I
Yeah,
forget what
exactly.
happened.
That's why I think Poirier might do it because there's
Yeah,
history there. There's a little bit of beef, and Poirier doesn't mind making money, especially because he has other mouths to feed.
yeah. I mean, he brought up Oliveira, and I'm like, wow, okay, interesting. And then he's like, Ferguson, yeah, I'll fight Ferguson too. I'm like, what the fuck? You're all over the place.
I want to see all those fights, but I mean, they're not gonna want it because it's not gonna mean anything. They're top contenders. Why would they want to risk this? Unless it's for a fuckload of money, which is not guaranteed that Dana's gonna give.
No. And then to go through a camp, go
Yeah.
through all that, and then possibly like have it fall out.
Something else that stuck out about one of the comments he said too, I think it was in a separate interview, but he was talking about even with Mayweather, that Mayweather beat McGregor based on his game plan. I guess because
Oh God.
which
Yeah.
I started thinking like clearly this is very self-centered, but I wonder like is Nate Diaz a narcissist or is it just that he has such a chip on his shoulder and he's always felt overlooked that he's always got to interject himself and shit?
No, he's playing the game.
You think so?
Yeah, he's playing the game.
Because I'm like he doesn't strike me as a narcissist, but I'm like, but he's
Mm-mm.
always done this. Like I remember when before he fought Michael Johnson, I remember fight week. He was I remember the main event was Dos Anjos and Cowboy, and he was just like he started writing like on the poster and like his name, and I'm like, man, that guy got big off me. He did too, talking about Cowboy and Dos Anjos and shit. Like it's always focused on him. I'm like, is this dude just a narcissist, or is it always just like nobody pays attention to me. Nobody gives me the props I deserve. So I gotta throw myself in there.
No, I think at this point it's just playing the game. Just making that money, that's it. Just playing this game.
I guess it only strikes me as odd because Nick never did. You know what I mean? Like I think when Nick would say that I'm the best in the world, he genuinely believed it. But that's just that's just the competitiveness in him. But yeah, when Nate, it was just like, dude, what? This is odd. You're like interjecting yourself in everything.
Yeah. Well, he's still relevant. Like, people are talking about him too, so wouldn't you play that game? I mean, it's there for you. That Ariel Hawani clip, like, it has over 500,000 views. He's still relevant. Anybody brings him up, it's like, yeah, he's going to get his views. He's going to get his hits. Like, people are following it. I mean, that vlog series for what, UFC 258? That only got 823 views.
Damn.
You know? He comes through every now and then and, yeah, makes a huge splash. Like, he's relevant. People will take it, but it just depends on if the machine will allow it and what they want, right? I think they want the trilogy more than anything. Him and Conor.
There was a report that came out. I don't know who posted it about. It looks like that's what the UFC is really interested in right now. Oh no, I'm sorry. Conor and Poirier.
Oh yeah, that would be yeah. That's definitely. But the other option is probably Conor and Nate. Because why wouldn't you try to give him a fight that he could possibly win and get him back in the win column, and then maybe like make a bigger fight with Dustin? I'm just saying, like, there's a potential for going the other direction too.
Yeah, I think what you said makes more sense.
Yeah, they think about it. Because what are you going to do? Hand him another loss?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. So,
especially with Nate getting all these views already. Goddamn, man. They're probably surprised too. They're probably looking at all of this right now and thinking like, okay, which direction to go? Because shit changes all the time. You got to follow the algorithm. You got to follow like what's trending and shit.
I have an odd view on the Diaz brothers and especially Nate, but I do love that he just makes the executive scramble. I just love that nobody gets him and they're just like, they need to work around him because he doesn't work around anybody.
Yeah, and I think that's the reason why he's like plays the game, because he knows now.
Yeah. He tends to get his way one way or another, by hook or by crook, straight up. It's really funny. I love seeing this shit happening. It's just broken clock is right, is still right twice a day. Like that's I think Nate's like whole existence. Like, he's not always right, but when he is, he's on the money.
Right?
And it usually falls to that position on accident.
Yeah, people making fun of him, like, damn, he looks like he aged. Well, he's probably eating really well right now. Like, he's not cutting weight or anything. And then they're like making fun of him because he was in a gaming chair. I'm like, what? Motherfuckers don't play games? Like, what the fuck? So yeah, I thought that was odd too. I'm like, what, man? What's wrong with the fucking gaming chair?
Nate's living his best life, right? In a way, this is the thing that I kind of respect about him, although I find him kind of odd. Like, he wants money for the reason that I want money. It's not about bitches and cars and yachts. It's not about any. I'm not trying to live the Conor life. I would live it like Nate. He just wants freedom. He just wants to be able to do whatever the fuck he wants.
Yep.
And I respect that, you know?
He's not owned by nobody. He's not tied down by anyone. You know what I mean? Like, he has this little like spot with his brother, you know, still in Stockton, close to home, and that's it. He doesn't need anything big. He just needs some to just keep on going. Be happy. No pressure.
Respect. Yeah.
In a gaming chair.
The dude still smokes mad weed. You should expect him to fuck around a little bit.
Right? He's cozy. I bet he got a footrest on that gaming chair too. Like, he can kick back.
I think people think like the Diaz brothers are just such madmen, and yeah, they know that they're potheads. So it's like, oh yeah, they smoke weed and go for a 10-mile run. Like, nah, man, sometimes they're just gonna chill.
Right? Seriously.
Yeah. So that's that, and that does it for headlines. Let's get into some matchups. Replacement. So Anthony Smith is stepping in to face Jimmy Crute. Jimmy Crute was originally scheduled to face Johnny Walker at UFC 260, but there was an injury to Walker, and they moved the card from UFC 260, which is at the end of March, to basically a full month later to April 24th. Jimmy Crute, for some reason, is a guy that I know he's on the rise, but I just haven't paid enough attention to him. And this is going to sound really weird and kind of fucked up, but I think it's because he's Australian, and Australians in heavyweight and light heavyweight have never really done well. So I don't know why I feel like I'm just like I'm not making this investment. He's not gonna become a title challenger. So I just feel like I'm already writing him off.
That's fucked up. That's funny.
I know that's actually kind of like bigoted, and I can admit that it's just a weird thing to have. Like I've seen maybe one or two of his fights. I'm like, he's gonna get beat by like a top 6 guy though. This isn't gonna. I think Tai Tuivasa and Tyson Pedro, those guys. I'm like, oh my god, these guys are like possibly the next champions. These guys are legit, and then they just get their ass kicked. I'm like, oh god damn it. I think they're from New Zealand. But Oceania, I kind of just see them all the same. Sorry, people. Sorry for anybody from Oceania.
But what happened with Johnny Walker though?
I don't know.
Did it say?
I didn't read into it. To be honest, I hope it wasn't his shoulder.
Michelle Pajea and him like training too hard, doing a dance off.
Like, oh my god, I think any injury that comes to Johnny Walker is never like accidental.
It's questionable, man. It's like, what happened? What'd you do?
I'm not saying he's like a bitch for pulling out or nothing. I'm just saying like he was danced a little too aggressively. He did a highly explosive move when he shouldn't have done one.
Never know with that kid.
Yeah, so that's happening. Anthony Smith, he'd gotten beat by Rakic. Oh no, I'm sorry. He beat there was a late replacement guy. Forget his name. He submitted him.
I forget too. Yeah. He's another one. He's been active, but he's a company man.
Good for him, man. I do root for the guy. I know a lot of people on the Twitterverse hate on him. I do root for the guy. He seems like a decent dude, so I'm cool with it. We'll see what happens, and then maybe. All right, I'll say this: if Jimmy Crute beats Smith, then he may be legit. So I will be watching this fight. I do want to know. It seems like Anthony Smith is the de facto gatekeeper, so we'll see how this goes. Another matchup: Ji Yun Kim is going to fight Poliana Botelho at an event May 1st. Sounds like it's going to be a fight night. Not a lot of fights have been announced for that card. No main event yet. Ji Yun Kim is the girl that last lost to Grasso, and Botelho last lost to Jillian Robertson of all people. Big, intimidating girls. They're very physical, and they have some striking to boot. So I'm interested to see how this one is going to go. I should give up on Botelho, but for some reason I can't. I don't know why. And then I kind of have
quit her.
Yeah, I don't think I can. And it's odd too, because man, every time she talks, I'm just like, ooh. Yeah, I don't know. It's like I have this thing against obvious cheaters, and I'm not saying anything. Yeah, she's cheating. I have no idea, but her voice kind of wigs me out. But anyway, I like Ji Yun Kim too, though. So I think either way, this should be a good fight.
Yep, I dig it. I can't wait. More female fights, man. Especially since, Smith like talked all that shit. So I hope they like pump more like female fights.
They're gonna have to sign a few more too. I mean, there's a few of them, but man, I wonder. Well, I was gonna say that I don't give a shit if Stephen A. Smith changes his mind or not. But I was like, they could put a fighter on that changes mind. Maybe like a Hannah Cyphers. Again, she's so tiny, but she's so game. But like, if you don't like seeing women fight, you don't like seeing women fight, and we don't need you. And then again, it could all be bullshit. You could just be playing the heel part for whatever reason. Because that's his game. But yeah, I get you. Maybe hopefully they do sign some women. Hopefully they do sign more women now. I don't know if they're gonna have the Contender Series anytime soon, but even then, I don't think Invicta's announced anything as of yet. But LFA seems to have some good girls. Maybe they can go after some of them, and then you never know. Some of these Bellator girls can move over too. Because Bellator doesn't seem to have the schedule that the UFC does. Maybe there's some free agents that can move over. But that does it for MMA. That does it for the matchups. Let's get into our news story of the week. Headline is 90-year-old man spends $10,000 on 2 ads in the Wall Street Journal to tell AT&T CEO about his slow internet service. So this dude is actually a local boy here around me in North Hollywood. Yeah, this guy's been with them for decades, since the 60s, so possibly 60 years, and has been a pretty happy customer throughout. Just pretty amazing. And these companies tend to really cherish and take care of their long-standing customers. And it's funny because this guy like gave them every opportunity to fix his service, made several calls, wrote letters, and just seemed obvious to him that they weren't gonna address his issues. So yeah, he spent 10 grand to let the people in charge know. He did one in Texas, which I guess one of their headquarters was there, and then he did one in New York too, to try and get Wall Street's attention. Dude's 90 years old. He's put up with a lot of shit, and yeah, he just went straight for the corporate side of things and said, "Yeah, you're now holding up your end of this deal, guys."
I love that he did this. I really do, but no, they don't give a shit about customers. That's the old business plan. The new business plan is quantity over quality, and that's what's happening here. Because they could have came out and tested it a long time ago, or they purposely slowed down the speeds because there is really no such thing as unlimited data. And yeah, and if he's 90 years old, I don't know when they'll ever fix it, really.
Jesus, that's cruel.
I'm sorry. I mean, seriously, like, especially in LA and all the rules that we have in California too, to be able to just, put a tower somewhere, like all the fucking regulations that these companies have to go through. He might have to just try a different carrier, but it just depends. Like, do they have a different carrier? In my area, it's just Comcast. So I'm just stuck with Comcast.
Yeah.
In other places, it's just AT&T. So
in my neck of the woods, it's just Spectrum. That's all you can get. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I lived in North Hollywood for like a year when I was younger. I don't think we had internet at the time. It was a while back. So I don't know what was in the area, and that could have easily changed by now. And if you guys listening to this, if it sounds a little harsh of what Rena's saying, she knows this from experience. She didn't work for AT&T, but she did work with a telecommunications company. So she has all the insight on this. So she knows what she's talking about. And to your point about the towers and customer service and all this type of shit, and the laws here in California and all that, we know what a stronghold telecommunications company and big tech have over the government in general, how much lobbying power, how much money they have over politicians. If that's the case on the federal side, you can only imagine how powerful they are on the state and local side of it. I mean, everything's headquartered here. Yeah, okay, there's companies moving away, but Apple's still here, Twitter's still here, a lot of these phone companies too. So, I mean, is it a waste of money? Now that you kind of know that what might or might not happen, like, do you think it's a waste of money?
If I was that age, it wouldn't matter to me, right? Whatever. It's just $10,000 out of my savings account, my retirement fund. But right now, spending that much on something that I know that will not change. There's only one carrier in my area. I have to live with what I got. Yeah, like, it would be a fucking waste of money. It would be an uphill battle.
Yeah.
But I mean, I dig that he did this. I hope that they do something for him. But yeah, I mean, he's been living with this shit for the past 5 years.
Yeah, he said that he was basically fine for like 20 years or so. But yeah, in the last 5 years, I guess, with streaming and yeah, and then in North Hollywood too, he makes a good point that like there's a lot of people that work in Hollywood and the news companies, and yeah, there's a lot of people that are involved in the business. So yeah, a lot of people use it.
Yeah.
And yeah, so he's like, streaming is basically non-existent. It just becomes slideshows. Yeah, and this guy just I find it funny that he wrote the letter to the CEO of AT&T. I guess his name's John T. Stanky. His last name's Stanky. I found that hilarious because I'm a child, but it's just funny seeing it on print.
Yeah. Man, they always try to get you too. Like, well, you need to just increase your, data speeds. They play that fucking game, man. They know they could just move you up to a different tier. I mean, he should have a grandfather plan, but it's like, well, Mr. Customer, if you move out of this, you'll never get it back. We can't do that for you, which is bullshit. They could always fucking put the code in.
Reen's opening the curtain, and don't pay attention to the man behind behind
Yeah.
the wall. Yeah.
Scream loud enough to keep on going, then you'll get what you want. That's what you have to do. You just have to be relentless with it. But they can fix it. They can fix it. They can fix anything. They will
If
do
you,
it, but they won't. It depends on who you talk to, too. Seriously, man. You call that 1-800 number, you give all kinds of different fucking answers. Because like I said, it's not quality anymore. It's fucking quantity. They're timed. They have to say certain things. You know, they're monitored. They need to get you off the phone in a certain amount of time and move on to the next one. You're just a number. It's not like how it used to be. Especially if you're like the only game in town. Where are you gonna go? Go to fucking Starbucks every day? Yep. I hated playing that game.
yeah, listen to Reen, folks, and take down notes. She knows all the tricks of the trade, and it's unfortunate. But yeah, that you do bring up a good point. Like I'm not good at it, but I have kind of done that on occasion. But yeah, it's a good point. It's not like you being like a Karen at a grocery store, just I want to speak to the manager type shit. It's like, well, you're being an asshole in a situation like that if you're at a physical spot, because yeah, you're inconveniencing other people for your little tirade, whether it be justified or not. And this one, it's like, yeah, if you have the time, make them waste their time.
Yep. Root for him. Do something.
It's kind of like a mini version of what happened on Wall Street a few weeks ago, right? Like, yeah, there were some guys that went out and got some money off of it, but there's some people that lost money and we're totally cool with it because it's just like, fuck the system. And that's kind of what this guy's like. He said, money well spent. He doesn't even regret it. Like, he knows this probably will fall on deaf ears, but he just kind of did it as a fuck you a little bit.
Yeah. I bet it was really satisfying. Like, I would love to do that, but I don't want to waste my fucking money. And then maybe one day when I have fuck you money, I'll write a book about the previous company, the telecommunications company that I worked for.
And we, as we've said on the show a few times, we want fuck you money for basically one thing: lawyers. So yeah. We're both on that. We're both on that end. So yeah.
Do my work. Protect me.
You guys think we're obnoxious now? Oh God, you guys better pray that day never comes.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Shit, I might get a lawyer for Gina just for shits and giggles. I don't even like her, but just want to piss people off.
Let's see what happens. Here you go.
I'm uncanceling her, and you can't cancel me because I got lawyers.
So funny, man. Yep.
Again, like Nate, just live your best life and have total freedom.
Yeah, right? He isn't owned by anybody.
Nope.
Nothing.
Yep.
He's just his little spot with his brother. He's happy. But you have somebody like Connor, like, yeah, he has fuck you money. Like, he can do whatever, but he's still, like, owned, right? Even though he has that company, like, he has investors to satisfy. And then everybody else that, like, works for him. Like, I guess he bought some big-ass yacht, and people actually live on that yacht because, it has to be manned at all times. So he has to pay those people, too.
Oh, so he's going full Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah, so I guess he's doing all that. So, like, that's a lot to keep up, man.
I want to keep up with the Joneses, right?
Yeah, so, like, good for you, Nate, for, like, chilling at home in a gaming chair, smoking weed and playing games. Like, you have the freedom to just sit there and play games and not give a shit.
And I think people forget. I mean, you're the first one that brought it up to me. He has a family. He has a kid now.
Yeah.
And a girlfriend. It's like, let him be a family man. Yeah.
I know, right? He has that side of him too. Like, yeah, he's all gangster and shit, and he'll always be that person. But like, he's a family guy too.
Yeah. We're gonna wrap it up here, folks. Thank you all for listening. Follow the podcast at iFoxWithJuice on Twitter, Instagram. Share, like, subscribe, whole deal. We'll see you all next week. Sayonara.
Adios.